Hello friends, this is Valesca Galindo and welcome to this part of our summer event for this 2023. And today my project for this event is this really cute card with this beach towel girl. She's really relaxed in the beach. Today I'm going to show you how to create these sea shore and the towel and the sand, and how to color the super cute chibi stamp. So I hope you like it, and I hope you can color along with me and create this card and share it with us at the Facebook group. So let's start with the different products we're going to be using today. So to start out, we're going to be using the digital stamp Beach Towel Girl. This digital is going to be for this special event. And then I am going to be using a couple of different parts of these two stamps previously released. This is the Billy Soak Up the Sun, sorry. And for this stamp, I'm going to use only the sentiment. I am also going to use these other super cute stamps that I used last month for my live, and this is Chelsea Seize the Day, and I'm going to be using this shell that stamp that she has here, and I'm going to be using some inks and also some Copic markers and other materials that I'm gonna be sharing with you while we do this card. So let's start with the background of the card, and what I'm going to be using today is I'm going to be using some craft cardstock, and this craft cardstock is gonna be helping me to create the sand. Let me grab my mat here. So we're gonna start with some inking, and I'm going to use oxide ink. I'm going to be using Vintage Photo oxide ink, and this is going to help me to create the sand effect. And I'm going to just ink the edges of this card, and we're gonna be creating some different texture to this piece. I'm gonna be showing you how to create that. So let's just ink the edges. Try not to ink the center of this piece, just the edges with your Vintage Photo oxide ink. So after we do these, I am going to mix some of these Vintage Photo ink with water, and I'm going to create some splashes on this piece. So to do that, I use my Vintage Photo oxide ink re-inker, and I put a little bit on my mat, not so much, and I mix that with a little bit of water, and this is going to give me a liquid in this color to create the texture, the sand texture. So what I like to do is I like to just splash some of these ink to my piece like this. If you feel that you need more water, you can add as much water as you can to this ink. So I think I'm okay with with this. So let me just clean that really quick. And I'm going to be using another type of material to create the sand texture. I'm going to be using some acrylic paint, and also you just need a little bit of this, and you're going to also mix it with water. You want this acrylic paint to be really watery like this, and see, you don't need a lot, but this white acrylic paint is going to give a really great texture to this sand. So let's bring our piece, and again just splatter some of this water with mixed with acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside so it can dry. Let me clean. Okay, and then we're gonna be creating our sea wave, and to create our wave we're going to be using some oxide ink in color Salty Ocean. And what I did is I just hand cut a piece to create kind of like a wavy shape, and all I'm gonna do is I am going to add color to this piece like so. Okay, and then what we're gonna be doing is we're going to also create some texture for these water, and what I'm gonna be doing is I am going to add just water, and those water splashes are going to create a water effect. So let me just have my water right here, and you can just spray your piece, but I like to use my brush, the brush that I previously used. You want to clean it very well, and just add some water splashes to this piece. The bigger the splashes, the better, so you can see the texture, the water texture. And so you want to just take off the water, and then you're going to use some sparkle watercolor. Any water sparkle that you have will do, and this is to create the water effect and the shine of the sparkle will create that effect. So let me clean it really quick, and let's dry these two pieces with our hot gun. Like this. Okay, so we have those two pieces, and then I am going to create the wave. And to create the wave, what I like to do is I like to use some grit paste and this spatula. I like to use a small spatula, and what I like to do is I like to just put some of these grit paste right here. You don't need a lot of paste. This is just to create the texture of the wave hitting the sand. It's a really cool effect, as you can see. And this paste dries really fast, so you can just set it aside to dry while we color the rest of our image, like so. Okay. Okay. This is the C piece. Okay. So let's set that aside so it can dry, and let's start coloring our image. And this is again the beach towel girl, and I am going to be using Copic markers and other Prismacolor markers too, and I am going to be using to color the skin. I'm going to be using E04, E11, E00, and E000. And let's start with our darkest marker. Let me just draw her little eyes so I don't color by mistake that. And so let's start with our darkest marker, and let's start on the edges of her face. And this is going to create the shadows on her face. And let's also color the neck, her arms, and her little legs, like this. Okay. Let's use our E11 marker, and I am going to go back and color on the same parts that I already did with my darkest marker. So I am trying to blend that darker marker with these E11 tone, like this. Okay, now let's do our E00. And again, you just want to mix those colors together. You want to have these white space in the center of the face for the highlight. And we're going to use our lightest marker for that. Okay, which is our E000, like this. Okay, and this color is going to help the other colors to blend. Okay, now let me share with you how I created the print on the towel. So what I did is I just grabbed my ruler, and what I did is I just eyeball some lines along the towel. So you want to have maybe a ½ inch approximately lines. You can eyeball it, you can even measure it, but because I don't want to take a lot of time, I'm just going to eyeball the ½ inch on this towel. And so you can create all types of different prints on this towel. You can add some dots or some thinner lines. So anything you can think of, you can use on your towel. So fun. And let's color the towel. So let's do our B markers. We're going to be using B6, B06, B05, and B04. And I'm going to start with my darkest marker, which is B06. And I'm going to start coloring on the edges of my towel like this. Okay. I'm going to be using the other colors to create some highlights and some shadows on this towel. Since this towel is on the beach and the sun is right there, you're going to be needing to create some shadows. Okay. So let's do our B05. And I'm going to just try to color and blend the B06 with the B05. And I'm going to leave the center of this towel so that we can use our lightest marker to give the highlight. Okay. Okay. You can always go back and give more of the darkest marker. And then with my lightest marker, which is B04, I'm going to just finish my coloring like this. I really like these events. I think I always tell when I am participating on these events that I got to know Stamp Anything because of one of these events a while ago. And so these events are really special for me because they remind me when I started knowing a bit more of Stamp Anything. So if you're one of those new people creating with Stamp Anything, welcome. That's exactly how I got to know Stamp Anything. So I feel that probably this down part needs a line. So I'm just going to eyeball one. Like this. And then with my lightest marker, the rest. Okay. I think she looks great. Okay. So that's the towel. Let's do, oh, I think I'm missing her little belly. So let's color her belly with the same markers we use for the skin. E04, E11, E00, and E000. I knew I was missing something. Okay, and I'm going to be coloring her swimsuit and her flip-flops, and I'm going to be using this Spectrum Noir tri-blend marker and dark red blend. And I love this shade because it blends really well and it takes out all the guesswork. You just take it and you have your three tones and one marker. So I grab this dark shade a lot when I want to have a beautiful red blend. And so that's her flip-flops and her swimsuit. Let me just color also these hair pieces like this. Okay, and let's finish with our lightest marker like this. Okay, great. Let's color her little tongue with my R21, sorry, R21. And let's color the hair. And for the hair, I'm going to be using 4 tones of brown. I'm going to use E49, E39, E37, and E33. And let's start with our darkest marker. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be following the lines, the hairlines that we have on the image. So what we're going to be doing is just create some lines to mimic the hairlines. So let's start with her bangs. And so what you have to do is just create these lines. Don't worry, you don't have to be precise. Like, the lines don't have to be exactly the same length or anything. You can have some short lines and some longer lines. And all you have to do is just follow the hairlines like this. It's really easy because you have all these lines that tells you where to put some color, like so. So you start with your darkest marker, creating those lines all along hair, okay? And so don't worry, you just have to practice these hairlines. And the more you practice, the better you get. Some lines are gonna be wider, some lines are gonna be shorter, some lines are gonna be longer, but these lines are the ones that create the hair effect. So that is our darkest marker. Let's now go with our second darkest marker, which is E39. And what we want to do is just extend those lines that we already did, like this. Just extend those lines. you don't wanna be connecting those lines. You just want to have them be longer, like this. Okay. So don't connect the lines. You just want to make them longer and try to blend those two tones together like this. Okay. Then we're going to be using our E37, and we're going to be doing the same thing. Just make those lines a little bit longer, not connecting the lines, just make them longer. You can even create some new lines. Remember that the hair is not perfect. You have some shadows on your hair. You have some highlights in your hair. And so the white parts that I'm leaving, those serve as the highlights on the hair. You'll see at the end how those lines and those white spaces create those highlights. And so don't want to color everything. And so finally, the E33, and this color is going to help me just connect like everything, but again, you still want to leave some white spaces on the hair, so they read as highlights. Again, since she's at the beach and the sun is right there, you're gonna need a lot of highlights. So don't be afraid of leaving some white space around the hair, because that is going to give you a better looking hair. So finally, you can add more of the darkest marker, since it tends to fade a little bit with all the other markers. And you can just see some spots that are maybe missing some color. And so all the different types of hair that you're gonna color, they're not gonna be exactly the same. As you can see, some parts of my first card are different. So don't be afraid. Just practice and try to color different types of hair to practice. Okay, so I think I did use one of these brown markers for her book right here, like the cover book. And I did use this yellow for the sunscreen, like this. I like to put some polychromos crayons to her cheeks, like this, to give some color to her face. And finally, I also like to put some white dots on her eyes, like this. And I think I'm going to color a little bit here on her bangs. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So let's put this card together. So let me see, where's my card base? If I can find it. It's right here. So this is an A2 card base, regular A2 card base. And I created this piece so that it can have a white frame. So I don't want the ocean to be this high on the card. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just add some glue to the bottom of this piece, and I am going to just try to put the ocean not so far up like this, and then I'm gonna just cut the excess of these ocean piece like this. Okay, so see, the grid base is already dry. So let me just try to add these to the front of the card. I'm going to use some of these tape. Okay, and we're almost done with our card. I still have some details, but I think we're almost done. So let me add this piece to the card front. Okay, so let's have this card front. Let me see if it opens where it needs to open. Okay, that's the card front. So I plan to put her right here in this corner. And then I have these shells just to add some fun detail to the card. And this is the sentiment. So let's color these shells. To color these shells, I wanted to use this cream Prismacolor marker. I feel that it gives a really cool color to these shells. I'm gonna add a detail to them too, you'll see. But I like to use this Prismacolor marker and also this Copic marker Y21 just to add some shading to the center of these little shells like this. Okay, and so I am going to add some foam tape just at the top of the beach girl because of the sea. You cannot put more foam tape there. And let's add also some foam tape to the shells. Okay, like this. So I thought that this part of the card looked a little bit empty. So I decided to put these shells around the beach, and they look great. Okay, we're almost done. So for these shells, I wanted to add some gems, and so I decided to use these gems that I had, and I wanted to put these on the center of these shells like this. And finally, the last thing we have to do is add some foam tape to the sentiment like this. And I think you're done with your card. So remember that these digital stamps are specially created for our event. And again, this is, her name is Beach Towel Girl. So she's the Beach Towel Girl. So let me just clean here. And so this is my final creation. How adorable is she? Literally soaking up the fun in the sun. So thank you so much for being here with us at this event and for creating. Please share with us all your creations at the Facebook group. We love to see what you create. We love to see your creations and your different experiments with the digitals and with the different products we have. So thank you so much again for being here in this summer event. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.